All right, guys, just finished up the first part of my workout for the day. I got some super dry mouth right now. Give me one sec, I get some water. Whew. Okay. Whew, okay. All right, what's going on, guys? Sorry, I misjudged how I was gonna feel after that. Whew. All right, so first part of my workout for the day, we had a 7-mile run on uneven terrain. All right, out there on the trails and stuff out here around Post. 7 miles uneven terrain and rolling hills, so that was pretty good. Kept that around a 7:30 pace. Excellent. And then I came back after 7 miles and threw on the plate carrier for the remainder of the run, and that added up to about 3.5 more miles tacked on for plate carrier running. Okay, and something actually really cool happened today. As I came back to throw on my plate carrier and head back out for the additional 3.5 miles, there was somebody who ran by from the parking lot and screamed out, "Hey, Gritty Soldier, what's up?" And I was like, what? Somebody actually knew who I was out here? What is going on? So for me, that's like really cool, because that tells me that there's like a whole bunch of high speeds out there, a whole bunch of you high speeds out there watching these videos and actually getting motivated about it. And so what I'm doing is actually doing some good out there and helping to get you guys motivated and out there crushing your own goals, which is awesome. I waved back real quick, but I was kind of stunned. I didn't get like a chance to talk to him. He didn't stop. He was just in the zone and continued running, which is awesome. I think that's great that he did do that. So I hurried up, threw on my plate carrier, and I did my very best to catch up to him. He was probably like at least a half mile ahead of me by that time. So I caught up to him, you know, asked him like how he knew who I was and stuff. He told me he watched the videos and he loves the videos and he gets pumped up by it. And that was great to hear. And before I had said that if I ever did run into anybody like that again, because this isn't like the first time that's happened, but it is still super rare, if I ran into somebody like that and they were out there training and getting it while they ran into me, that I would give them my Gritty tab. And so I did that, and I actually used my phone to take a quick video of it. So here it is. Here's that interaction right here. All right, what's up, guys? I'm out here running, get some training in, and I ran into Neo, who screamed out to me. He said, "What's up, Gritty Soldier?" And I thought that was awesome. And so I caught back up to him. He's giving me a run for my money right now. And so I thought I'd go say hi. And like I said before, I wanted to give out a Gritty tab to people that actually like recognize me and said what's up and we're out there training, because I think it's awesome that they're out there doing that. So there you go, brother.
All right, thank you.
Look, we're not even stopping. We're gonna keep going. He's getting ready to go to Ranger School or to CERT first.
Yeah.
He's just trying to show his command that he can do it. All right, so that's awesome for Neo, dude.
About to get it.
Legit, man.
About to get it.
All right, so I'm gonna leave him alone because I know I'm bothering him now. Get out there and get it like Neo.
Nobody cares. Work harder, baby.
All right, brother. I'll see you later, man.
All right, take care.
Get it. All right. Yeah, but see, as you can see, I had, I just had caught up to him, so I was a little winded. But he wasn't even slowing down for me or nothing. He was like, "Man, I'm out here getting this. I'm not slowing down for you, Gritty Soldier. I got to keep on running." And I thought that was awesome. So yeah, I just got a quick interaction with him, handed off my Gritty tab, and hey, I wish you all the luck in your endeavors, brother. Don't stop. Keep working until you get to your goals. Okay. But yes, that was really awesome. I just wanted to share that with all you guys. But anyway, so yeah, I'm out here getting a workout in for Best Ranger. Again, I started off with a 10.5 mile run. 7 miles of it was just regular running on trails like this, and came back, threw on the plate carrier, ran for an additional 3.5 miles. Now I'm back, and what I'm really focusing on today is like volume training for endurance. You might have heard volume training for strength before, but this is something that I like to call volume training for endurance, and that's a long run, a long-winded run. Not necessarily for time, but more for just, feeling and getting the motion right and really getting into that good, solid oxidative space where you could just feel like you can run forever, just for miles, okay? And that's kind of where I was at. And for me, that was around a 7:30 pace, okay? So that's really good for me. I remember last year, during train up for BRC, I wasn't running distances like that and being able to sustain a pace like that, especially in elevation changes like this, off-road terrain, you know, difficult terrain, difficult trails. I wasn't running at that solid of a pace and still feeling pretty comfortable with it, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely in a better place today, endurance wise and cardio wise, which is super important for the Best Ranger competition. A lot of it is, you know, endurance, cardio. Now, after I've done my 10.5 mile run, I'm gonna add a couple little kickers to it, which is something that I would expect to happen to me at BRC because that's what happened in the past. And that is, I'm gonna do a few rope climbs, okay? And I'm not really gonna be doing it for like time or max effort. I'm really just gonna be doing it maybe like 6 times just to get a good feeling for it, double check that I'm actually able to do it comfortably, and just work on my form overall. Plus, I don't know if you guys out there have a whole lot of experience with rope climbing, but it is definitely a perishable skill. If you don't practice it at least semi-often, you could potentially lose that skill very quickly. And also, it's a very good workout, and it should be more of a full body workout rather than an upper body workout. So if it is something for you that becomes more of an upper body workout, rope climbing, that is a good signal that you might have bad form. You need to go out there and work on it. It really should be more of a full body workout, and I'll get a little bit more into that when we go over there and do some rope climbs. I'm gonna do some rope climbs, and then after that, I'm gonna go do a few rounds on the monkey bars, again, just to get, you know, work up some forearm strength and to work on my form and remember how I work my own personal momentum to make my way through the monkey bars, to use as least amount as strength and effort as possible as I'm maneuvering my way through that obstacle. But for now, I'm going to change into my uniform real quick. 1, because that's what I'll be wearing during the competition, and 2, I just don't want to scuff up my legs real bad on the rope today. It's actually kind of busy today, and I'm out here just like getting half naked trying to get dressed and stuff. But that's okay, it's the Army, you know. We'll get over it. Oh man, and see, I'm already kind of a little sore and tired just from running those 10 miles, but now getting straight into climbing the rope, this will be a good test to see if my body still has been holding on to enough ATP, enough energy in the energy systems in order to make a few rope climbs happen successfully and without you know, too much effort. I'm fully anticipating being able to go out there and being able to climb this rope a few times without it being too much of an issue. So that's really the test that we're looking for. Is this going to be super difficult for me, or is it something that's totally doable? I'm leaning towards it being completely doable, so that's what we're going to find out. When I did BRC in 2019, the first few events were like this. It was the very first event from the very starting line at the gunshot. We ran 5 miles, and after 5 miles, like, you picked up a big ass plate carrier at the 5 mile mark and then continued the run with that to the finish line, and it was about 3 miles. So 8 miles total. And back then, I mean, the average pace, or at least like a good competitive pace for those initial 5 miles, was probably like a 6-minute, 30-second pace per mile, something like that. That was to remain competitive and remain within like the top 10 teams. And then picking up the plate carrier was like a whole, you know, that was a whole different thing on its own, because it was hot, it was humid, it was a big, thick IOTV. It wasn't like a, you know, a small little plate carrier like you see me wearing. It was the big, thick one. And we ran that in for 3 miles, just sweating and trying to maintain that quick pace. So we were pretty tired by the time we got to the finish line. But you don't like really get a chance to like take a break. You get a chance to drink water real quick, and then they moved you immediately into the Malvesti obstacle course. And we ran it backwards, so you had to do the low crawl underneath the barbed wire and through the mud before you got onto the monkey bars and the rope climbs and the pull-ups. So every piece of equipment was soaking wet. You were wet and the equipment was wet. So you're doing low crawls underneath the barbed wire through the mud. Then you do the slippery, you know, the monkey bars that actually like turn as you go across on the big thick ones. So they're difficult as they are, and now they're soaking wet. And then we had to do the rope climb, and the ropes were just slick, nasty, and it was super difficult to get the ropes. Like, I don't even think, most teams didn't even make it all the way up the ropes. We were one of the teams that did, but most teams weren't even able to do that. I think we were lucky to be one of the first teams to actually make it on the ropes. That way they weren't as slick. But then again, we ran faster than everybody else, so I guess we earned that spot. But that's really what we're trying to replicate here with this workout. Okay, and more or less, obviously I'm not going full force on this workout, but I just want to make sure that I'm meeting the standard to be able to accomplish those exercises, and do it in a way where it's not too strenuous, because it's only the beginning of the day. This shouldn't take too much energy from me. So it's more about focusing on the form and making sure that my body has enough reserve energy and is used to storing that kind of reserve energy to be able to make it through these obstacles after a long and arduous run like that. And that's what I mean by volume training for endurance. I know that's not a very technical term, but that's kind of where I'm getting at here. But yeah, so it's been about 10 minutes or so since I actually came in to finish with that run. Talked to you guys a little bit. I've changed in my clothes, drank about a bottle of water. Now it's time to go climb some ropes. So I've been doing pretty good about eating around 4,000 calories a day. Honestly, I haven't been used to that for a little while, so it's difficult to like space out my eating throughout the day so that I don't get too full at any given time. But I usually feel full for the majority of my day, which is hard to get used to. It's good though, because that means my body is getting the nutrients that it needs constantly throughout the day for healing, to avoid energy and overtraining, and to really get the most out of my workouts when I'm putting all this effort into it. Like, I feel great right now. Just ran 10.5 miles and I feel fine. You know, that's mainly, obviously I'm in good shape, but a lot of that is attributable to my current diet. But it's also obvious that, you know, we're focused less on like body composition and more on actual performance. So my diet that I'm doing now, the macro counting, the macro structure, all that stuff is all really based on performance. It's not based on like trying to get gains in any or mass in any certain part of my body. It's not based on leaning down. It's nothing like that. It has nothing to do with physical appearance. It's all about performance. That can be difficult for people sometimes, because, you know, a lot of times people out there, their main driver for being in shape and going to the gym and stuff like that is to look good. But for me personally, it's not really about looking good. It's about whether or not I can do these things and do them well. How far can I go? How fast can I go? How much can I pick up? And how often can I do it and still feel good about it? That's really what I'm looking at. And so I would encourage all of you guys out there to worry a little bit less about how you look and worry more about your actual performance as you work towards your goals. You know, you want to, it's all about game day, you know what I mean? So unless you're like a competitive bodybuilder and you're working towards going out there and doing a show, it really doesn't matter how you look too much. You know, it's really more about that event that you're training for, the specific goal that you're training for. You want to be able to do the very best you can performance wise at that event that you're training for. But anyway, that's enough of that. So here's the ropes. And again, nice and easy. I'm just going to get up on this rope, do this a few times, and make sure that I'm keeping proper form and not relying on upper body strength too much, because again, this should be a full body exercise. All right, so I want you guys to watch me as I do this rope and see how I do it, and then I'll explain to you what I mean when I say full body exercise. All right, I don't have any camera person assistance today, so we're just gonna have to make do and put you on a log here. All right, so hopefully that's good enough. I think you can see good enough. So these are about 15, 20 foot ropes. All right, I'm 6 feet tall. That's 2.5 of me. Yeah, so about 15 foot, maybe 20 tops. So I'm gonna do this a few times. I'm gonna do 5 rounds of 2 climbs back to back, okay? So that way I can get, you know, roughly 30 to 40 foot rope climb. Obviously I'm gonna have to descend and go back up, but this is the rope that I have available to me, so we're gonna make it happen. So I'll do 2 consecutive rope climbs back to back, and then I'll rest for about 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that the energy systems are recharged, and then I'll do that again 3 more times. Okay, so 4 sets total. So that really wasn't bad at all. I feel like I had plenty of energy. I could have went up there and did it again. And as you can see, when I first started, I actually kicked out the rope a little too far and didn't get enough lift on my legs. I didn't crunch in enough to really make that first pull worth it. Okay, so that was a waste of energy. When you're climbing a rope, for the majority of the time, for the majority of reasons why you'll need to climb a rope in the military, it's more about conservation of energy and being able to get up the rope as smoothly and as methodically as possible. You don't want to just be pulling yourself up the rope the entire time. You really want to use only that first pull to get yourself up to about half the length of your body, so that you can push your legs up and lock into the rope with your feet at about waist level, and then stand up on the rope, then use the upper body again to get that lift up for the next round of climbing. Hopefully that's all coming out okay. It's kind of hard to describe, but really, like, a good way to test to make sure you're doing this right and not fully relying on your upper body is that if you're climbing the rope and you're locked in with the S hook, all right, which is the climbing technique that I just used. If you're locked in at the feet with the S hook, you should be able to let go definitely with one hand, and essentially let go with two hands if you weren't going to fall off the rope, and still be able to hold yourself up on that rope. Does that make sense? So like your lower body is still doing a good majority of the work to actually hold your body to the rope. You're not just hanging on for dear life the entire time you're going up the rope. You're just going to burn yourself out way too fast, and most people out there aren't going to be, they're just not going to have enough upper body strength to make that work out well for them. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. I'm going to knock us out again, and let's see if I can do it with a little better form this time. And then I'll show you what I mean about lifting your feet up as high as you can to get that good crunch and really rely on the lower half of your body as well. Okay, here we go. See what I mean? How I can let go? But see, that one felt a lot better. This is why it's good to come out here and just practice it every now and then, just so you can work on your form and make sure you still got it. All right, so that's rope practice. Now we're gonna get to the monkey bars. Here we go. All right, and these are the same kind of monkey bars you're gonna find on the Malvesi obstacle course. Obviously, this is a much smaller version of them, but they're the same, you know, thick grip bars that turn on you. All right, so they won't stay stationary. They're a lot harder to traverse than your just average monkey bars. Thick grip, you gotta have good grip strength. And like I said, the metal turns as you maneuver your way across the bars, so you just have to be very careful and really rely on your grip strength and your momentum as you make your way across the bars. And I want to say at Ranger School, this is about maybe 20 feet right here. At Ranger School, it's at least, I want to say it's at least twice this long. At the Malvesi obstacle course, I could be wrong, but I want to, like, just thinking back and like knowing what I know, I feel like it's at least twice as long as this one. So it's definitely a challenge. You know, a lot of guys will fall and they'll have to do it again, you know, blah, blah, blah. But if you can just get across these things on your first try, just do what you need to do, suck it up and get through it. It is definitely better than falling and starting over from the beginning. This is a really important obstacle to train up, not only for me at the Best Ranger competition, but for anybody out there going to Ranger School or anything like that. You definitely want to train up on these style monkey bars. Don't put this off, okay? This thing will get you. It seems like something easy, something you know you did as a child, but these are way harder than your playground monkey bars, okay? You need to get out there and train them. And that really goes for any of the obstacles, you know, whether you're training for, if you're in the Army in general, you should be pretty comfortable with obstacle courses, at least your basic obstacles. But if you're training for like Air Assault, Ranger, Sapper, Special Forces, anything that's like, you know, got a pretty significant obstacle course as part of the course itself, you want to get out there and get hands on these obstacles, okay? And do it in a comfortable setting. I mean, if I'm out here just doing this willy-nilly on my own, I can test out any of these obstacles without anybody watching me and do it at my own pace just to get comfortable with it and you know, get hands-on and get experience with going through those obstacles all on my own, so that when I get there to the course, I've already done the obstacle, I know what to expect, and it's a whole lot easier if you've just already done a little bit of pre-training before you show up. So don't put that off. A lot of people put off the obstacle course stuff. Don't do that. You need to get out there and get hands-on. All right, let's see if I still got it with these monkey bars. Woo! All right, still got it. You can see I went through really slow, and that's really because you kind of have to with these bars. They move on you a lot, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but the grip I'm using is a beer can grip, okay? And that's because, let me show you. See this? That's what I mean when I say it twirls on you. That's exactly what happens at Ranger School. And so you can't really get like a good traditional grip on this bar. Like I could, but when I put all my weight on it, my thumb loses a lot of strength and ends up going like this. All right, and that's what causes the bar to twirl on you. All right, so you got to get used to handling the bars with a beer can grip like this. All right, and just do one bar at a time. Don't try to swing all the way and skip a bar. You want both hands at a bar and grab onto one bar again at a time. And that way you can maintain control on the bars as they try to spin you off of them. And then you really got to get out here and train this, man, because you have to do this obstacle slow. You can't like rush through this like you could like conventional monkey bars. This is something where you have to really take your time with each grip and make sure you have a good grip with every swing that you do, okay? And it really does rely a lot on grip strength and upper body strength and forearm strength mostly. So one of the only ways really to train this is just to get out here and do this. Pull-ups will help you out, farmer's carries will help you out, but there's nothing that's going to be better than to actually just get out here and get hands on the bars. Okay, so you just got to come out here and do it. All right, I'm going to hit this up a few more times and then we should be done. Whoa. All right, that's enough of that, and that's really all you need, man. Just a few rounds, get yourself used to it, get yourself some experience, build a little bit of strength. Do that every now and then. I also wanted to go back and clarify something I was talking about before. Yes, I very much encourage that you go out there and get hands on these obstacles. That doesn't mean that you go to the obstacle courses that have to be reserved in order to use them, okay? So be careful with that. I know a lot of posts have like the gated off obstacle courses, or it will say restricted access. You must reserve this land in order to use the obstacles. Don't just go out there and use those obstacles. I'm not telling you to do that. Find some obstacle courses that are just out in the woods, like this one out here on All-American Trail, the ones that you're allowed to use, and just come out here and get some hands on that way, okay? There's actually a whole bunch of old Army obstacle courses out there, like in the woods of different Army posts that a lot of people don't even know about, so you just got to do a little exploration sometimes. But you'll find them. They're out there. But again, guys, very perishable skills. I highly encourage you to get out there and get hands on obstacles whenever you can, whenever possible. Especially if you're training for a certain school that's going to require you to successfully negotiate a obstacle course as part of the requirement for successful completion of the school. Can't stress that enough. And it also pays huge dividends to train like this. I typically do my strength sessions or my muscular endurance sessions after a run, okay? And that's just to help train my body to get used to being in that oxidative state and still being able to perform strength-wise at the back end of being in that oxidative state. If you're not used to training that way, it's going to be very difficult. You're definitely going to feel the effects of strength loss if you don't, you know, almost trick the body or train the body into being able to perform that way. and it's hard at first if you're not used to training that way. It can be very difficult. It can be hard not only physically but mentally, because you're already kind of drained with doing long runs, long sessions of cardiovascular activity, and then you go out there and do strength training right afterwards. That can be difficult, but you get used to it, and eventually it gets easier and easier. And hybrid training is awesome because you see a whole lot of benefit that you would normally only get from like one style of training. You know, I get benefits from strength training and long distance cardiovascular training, running training, by doing these sorts of workouts back to back. You just got to be really careful on how you do it. You have to be consistent, and again, like I talked about at the beginning of this video, you really have to make sure that your nutrition is on point, at least that you're getting enough calories, and at least that they're the right calories. Okay, doesn't have to be like exactly precise, perfect, but you got to get them pretty close. So that's it for my workout for today, guys. Again, shout out to Neo for being out here and saying what's up and getting out there and getting after his own goals. It's awesome, man. Keep that shit up. Don't stop till you've met your goals. All right, man. Besides that, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself probably some tropical smoothie on the way home. Plug that into my macro calculator. I think on the next video I'll go a little bit more into like different tools that you can use for macro counting to make your lives a little easier. If that's something you're trying to do, you can still go out there and get things like I just said, tropical smoothie, and find easy ways to plug in those macros into the calculator that you use to make your life very easy. So I'll get a little bit more into that to the next video, so just make sure that you like and subscribe on this one so you don't miss that one when it comes out. Besides that, I got nothing else for you guys for today, and I will see you on the next one.